Today we're taking a look at Sales.rocks, which is a toolkit for marketing and sales. Basically, it's a combination of different solutions which allows you to find company data, business contact information data, as well as put it together in the form of email outreach tools. So all in all, let's take a look at what it brings to the table. So right off the bat, of course, there are a few different solutions that it offers as part of its suite, right? One is the ability to actually find company information. So, it says that it has a record of 90 million company records with 11 million contact profiles and 56 million contact details. I'm sure, of course, this is something that's going to be expanding as time goes by, because what most of these sales data databases, right, do is they have ways to basically crawl the net to accumulate all these data points, right? So when, let's say for example, you're doing tech sales and you actually want to identify certain types of companies by the technology they use, instead of using something that's kind of like expensive, like built with for database as the database source, right? You could take a look at Sales.rocks, you know. So besides looking at the business emails, you could also pull out contact details also, right? For example, so you could pull out the email addresses of different peoples and different organizations. The next logical conclusion for this is they've added on email drip tools. So basically, based on the information that you've found from your database, right, you could actually put it into a drip sequence. So it kind of looks something like this, right? You see here. So it's for those who are using funnel builders. I think this is quite familiar. This is basically if this then that kind of funnel build, kind of automation process, visual workflow, right? So what else do they do? Let's see. Well, I mean, they also have things like a sales toolkit. So what they do for sales toolkit is essentially, right, email list verifier. So you can either use Sales.rocks native like email verifier, right, or you can actually combine it. You can integrate it with other options. So if you've bought email verifier tools like the Checker or VerifyB, you can also integrate via API to do that. What's unique is they have phone number checker also. So they can basically, if you put your phone number in, they can actually verify your phone numbers. So that's pretty cool. And then of course we talk about integrations, right? So integrations right now is so I think Sales.rocks is a fairly young company. From their own information, they say that they were launched in 2018. So that's like just 2 years ago. So right now, in terms of the integration, they have Zoho CRM integration. They say they integrate with other tools also. And basically, they say that they integrate with 2,000 different apps via Zapier, which of course, is quite common. Of course, native integration, I think Zoho CRM is the one that kind of like stands out. They also have a Chrome extension tool, but I think it's not available at this moment. So this should come soon. Right now, if you want to do drip emails outreach, right, you can connect with your G Suite, your Outlook, and SMTP. I think when I was connecting my Gmail account to Sales.rocks a little bit earlier, and encountered a little bit of authentication issue, as in I think the app hasn't been fully verified by Google at the moment. So when I tried to connect my Gmail account to the tool, it gave a little bit of warning, but I think not an issue. Basically, we still went ahead to connect the email tool. So now we can actually use our Gmail account to send out drip email sequences. Okay, so a few more information about the company. I mean, the company is basically, a young company growing fast all the time. If you want to take a look at their, roadmap, they have it over here. So they've noted things like, for example, from the time of this recording, right, by the next quarter, they could integrate with HubSpot. They're pushing to integrate with Salesforce eventually. They're expanding their coverage into New Zealand, Australia, South Africa, and Israel. They're introducing a Chrome browser plugin next month, as well as expanding to a global contact database. So, right, so they're gonna target. So of course, like Sales.rocks goes global. Brazil, Mexico, Argentina, Chile, Malaysia, India, and Singapore are next. So of course, Singapore is where I am, right? So I think, yeah. So that's basically a little bit of information about the tool. Let's take a look at the inside of the tool, and then let's see how it compares, right? Okay, cool. So this is how the tool looks like on the inside, right? Uh, the UI, the user interface is, I guess, functional. Not exactly the most like pretty. It's just functional, I think. I think it's good enough for use. So you can see here, right? I've signed up on the free account, so I have 49 company search credits, 20 contact search credits, and 30 sales toolkit credits, right? Right. So if you were on the plans, you can see that they charge for around, what's the pricing, right? $99 is 2,000 credits to get monthly access to company search and so on and so forth. Um, yeah, so it doesn't really talk about things like, for example, what is the um, what is the whether, for example, the um, drip email is part of which plans and everything. So I guess it's, in that sense, I don't think it's like entirely like updated yet, but we'll see. Anyway, let's go to the inside of the back end of the tool. So you see that basically right now, if you wanted to, you could find companies. So you could select different tools. So I'm just going to go ahead and select a few different countries, right? I'm going to select Germany, right? And then I'm going to select, I don't know, I'm just going to select, I just do information and communications, right? You can see information and communications, or maybe not, right? So let's see what we can find. What do okay, let's do construction, right? Okay, let's do construction. Save codes, and then let's just pull. So once you've clicked this, basically now you have all different types of companies all over that is showing right now. You can also switch to a table view. So how it works is they work by credit system, so you can select whichever company that you want to find out more information about. Right, you can see here that basically has the website, does not have information about the technologies. You have email addresses and phone number, right? So let's say, for example, I decide to add to my list. So I have previously already, so I put this as company list. I add this existing list to my test list, and then I have gone here to add it here. Okay, so it's all added in right now. So now, in order to find out more information about the list, right, I'm just going to go over to my test list. So over here, this is the page where you can see all the different lists. I've only got one, so this is the test list. And okay, it's still loading, right? Yeah, it's still loading. So right now, I've previously already like mined one company, so I'm going to mine another company now. So you can either like unlock the entire list or an export to CSV file, or you can do what I do, which is like just unlocking single profile. And takes a bit of time. So now it's unlocked what the company is about. I mean, this user interface is interesting. No technologies available. Yeah, so it is what it is, right? Let me see. Have I unlocked it? Okay. Right. The data is not. Yeah. So the other option is to you can find contacts, right? Let's just say I want to look for job title contains, I just want to say marketing manager in the country, and let me just go with the lens. Right, industry equals to, I would just kind of like say manufacturing, right? Then I'll start the search. And of course, similar to the company search, it will pull out a list of people you can take a look at. So you can go about it and just click on specific user. You can, you can add them to your list. So you have selected one, add to list. Then you create a list of yourself. You can do tests. It's a personal. This permission is personal. And then inside company level. So here, I think the list permission refers to who can access the list, right? Whether it's accessible by yourself or you can accessible by other members of your team, right? So let's create a new list. Yeah. Okay. So now if you go to my list, you can find the test list here. And if I wanted to, I could unlock the full profile. Yeah, so I think just for privacy issues, I'm not going to go ahead and do so, but I presume that of course you would, just click this, and that would be how you can go about doing it. An alternative method, I believe, is to select and then opt to convert. Is it possible? No. Okay, it's not possible. All right. Yes. Enter between select all on page, export selected to Excel. Okay, we could do that. Right? Let's put one contact per company. Okay, let's do the export context. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I think now it's being exported, and then that's it. Okay, cool. Let's go on to the sales toolkit. The sales toolkit works in a few different ways, right? One is, of course, is the email verifier. It's pretty straightforward, right? You could either upload a CSV file or you could put in your Google Sheet URL, right? And then it will pull the different it pull the different columns to do verification, right? You can either right now it's basically using a SalesRock verification tool, but you could also connect to the checker or the Verify B via API to use these tools, the credits on these tools to basically verify your emails. They have a phone verification email system also. So you could enter in your phone and then it will go ahead and basically verify for you. Yeah, so this is where you put in your API keys for the checker and Verify B. So here is the place where you would go if you had basically clicked on any verification earlier. So my orders. Okay. Yeah, so you will have downloaded the Excel sheet just that we had just mined previously from here. Let's take a look at basically now sequences, right? So right now I've created one simple sequence. So it's basically a two-step email. You can go and create this in a pretty simple way, right? You could, for example, hi, hello, hi again, and then you could set a condition that says, this is pretty straightforward, right? Wait up to 1 hour if the email is open, yes or no. If yes, then send this one, which and you send the content is hello again and and everything. And yeah, it's kind of like how it works. then over here you have you can select which emails you want to target. Over here, this is email that I had uploaded previously. You can see right now that basically it has a few emails already scheduled, right? So let's just go back to the previous email that we had set. Let's say we have basically set up the name of the sequence, where is it sending from, the schedule, the starting date and time. So now if I wanted to, I could kind of like update the sequence. And if I go back to my outbox, I should see, I don't see a third email. That's because I think the third email is based on a conditional. So it's not going to launch straight away. Oh, I see. I actually have not. Okay, let's see. I did not actually update the email. So here's the thing, right? You have to click update in order to update the email. So this is what I mean. Okay, let's just do this first. Save all, right? And you have to update the sequence to save, right? If you don't, then you will forget to do so. Then it won't save. So let's see the outbox. Okay, the outbox is still the same, right? Yeah, so you can put things like your signature, your scheduler, and all the different things here. So let's take a final look at the integrations, right? Integrations wise, so right now they have Zoho as a native integration. The rest are basically all Zapier, right? Of course, in terms of the roadmap, they are looking to integrate with a lot more things. But it is what it is at the moment. Yeah. So hopefully, I think they'll roll out integration with popular CRMs like HubSpot soon. And yes, so that's kind of like a short overview of what SalesRock does. All in all, I think it's a pretty interesting tool, but I think that you can kind of like tell that it's a fairly new, fairly young tool also. So if you're willing to I mean, if you're okay with the fact that it's still relatively young tool, and that maybe some data points might be a little bit potentially not super complete yet. After all, I mean, in terms of like the roadmap, they're still rolling out different things, right? They haven't achieved like a global contact database yet, right? But otherwise, it seems like a pretty full-featured tool. I know because like for us, in my own business, we use Apollo, which is a pretty mature tool right now. So you can also do things like, for example, find leads, find companies, and run campaigns. And yeah, so that's kind of like I believe that this is the standard that kind of SalesRock needs to kind of like mature the tool to become. So that's all in all the review of SalesRock. So I think if you can get SalesRock at a pretty good deal, I think it's worth getting it, especially if you're in B2B sales of any kind. It's definitely worth having a tool like this in your belt. There's alternatives like, for example, Apollo and everything. Of course, the prices would be different and everything. So, if you have the time, and you're looking in the market, SalesRock, why not give it a go, see if it works for you, and then let us know your thoughts. All right. Thanks everyone. So that's the review for today.